Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another match reaction. Absolutely tough loss. Unfortunately, we did not get the victory over Girona. But guys, before we get started on the video, make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're basically on every social media platform out there. On TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. If you guys want to listen to our longer formatted videos, just go over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Our challenge videos, our transfer rating, our debate videos, they're all over there. So make sure to go over there and check us out. But guys, if you guys also want to join in and give your thoughts, comments, reactions, just go over to Twitter at Kool-Aid Podcast, click on the link, and then you'll be able to join. But let me introduce my co-host for today, Sebi. Sebi, say what's up.
What's up, guys?
Okay, let's just get straight into the match. It was poor. It was
Yeah,
poor. Girona were just better.
yeah.
They were better. I would say we started really well. I would say 20, no, the first like 15 minutes, Barcelona were really good. That goal that Girona came, I honestly thought it was like from from out of nowhere because Barcelona were absolutely completely dominant. But from there
Mhm.
on, Girona, I thought they looked completely the better team. But Sebi, what were your thoughts on the game as a whole?
Uh, the whole game,
Yeah,
atrocious, bro. Atrocious
atrocious.
from Barcelona.
Uh,
Atrocious. Like, really, really poor. Like, I mean, like, we didn't take chances of our goal
yeah,
scoring opportunities.
uh-huh.
You see
And
the
we
one
created a
that
lot.
you, the one that Yamal passed it to Lewandowski right in front of the goal, 93rd minute to tie the game.
Oh, bro,
Right in front of the goal.
look right this. Look at this right here. Look at that, guys. Look at this header.
I
Now
mean,
this is a world class striker right here.
exactly. But from that angle, I think the goalie was gonna guess he was gonna shoot it or header it
Uh
right there.
huh.
I think he would have still blocked it.
You still would have blocked it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if you see in the picture, the movement like of the goalie's feet, like look where he's already
Yeah.
standing and where the header
Mm-hmm.
is already being aimed at.
Yeah, you could definitely see Gazaniga, who I
I don't
thought
know
played
if it was
really
like a
well.
powerful header or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would have gone in. Depends.
Uh-huh. Okay. But guys, let's look at Barcelona's lineup. Let's actually see how both teams they actually started the game. So in goal, you had Iñaki Peña. Of course, we know that Ter Stegen is out for the rest of the year with that back surgery. You actually had basically a repeat lineup of both games against Porto and Atletico Madrid. You had Cancelo, Christensen, Araujo, and Kunde in the defense. You had Pedri, Gundogan, and Frank de Jong in the midfield. And up top, you had Joao, Felix, Lewandowski, and Rafinha. Talking about individually about each players, I thought Iñaki Peña. Mm, do you think that he could have done more for any of the goals? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but on the last goal, I,
On the last goal.
I think it's because I saw the slow-mo, like, when
Okay.
they crossed it in, I think he might have if he had reacted fast enough, he could have probably put his hand to maybe, like, distract
Okay.
it or try to get it, but the other 3 are just
Yeah, like
like,
it's
you
just poor
can't
defending.
did you see the 3rd goal? Amazing.
Yeah,
Stuani headers it, the guy calmly puts it in a corner, like,
yeah,
that's unstoppable, no keeper saving that.
yeah, and he absolutely beats Kunde right there.
Yeah.
And overall, I think the rating on the defense, I think it's it's fairly reflected. I
Yeah.
thought the defense overall they were just poor. They were completely cut open in every single counterattack.
I
Girona, they were
mean,
absolutely
on the
playing through
second
us.
half, it's because of what I saw. Like Girona
Yeah,
just plays on the counter. We have possession of the ball. We
yeah,
attack. We do everything. They have
mm,
2 opportunities and they score both. We have 10 and we score 1.
yeah, yeah. Bro, look at the amount of shots that Barcelona have had. When I look at the stats, where are they? Look at that, 31 shots, 11 shots on target, and we only have 2 goals.
No efficiency.
And Girona they have 15 shots and that 4. That just shows the clinical nature of us. We need 7, 8, 9 chances to get 1 goal.
Exactly.
And that's not sustainable. And Girona, of course, when you're facing a very good team like this, you obviously need to perform and you need to put away their chances because Girona, as you guys can see right now, they're first in La Liga. They're first in La Liga, 2 points ahead of Real Madrid, and 7 points ahead of us. That's a huge gap already
Yeah.
going
7
into
points
the
down. Yeah.
mid season point of the season. But um Sebi, what did you think of the midfield performance?
Bro, Gundogan is the only savable one. And then the second half, he was playing like a striker. Bro, bro
Ah,
had at least like 6 shots on goal
yeah, yeah.
instead of the actual world class striker Lewandowski.
I know, and that's sad. How can we have our midfielder be more lethal than our clinical number nine, who we spent big money on, 50 million?
Exactly. And then
Um,
I'm gonna say this, but like
okay.
Frankie De Jong has not lived up to, I feel like, his potential, his hype when he's
Oh,
the Barca. It's like he
oh,
plays so good and then
yeah.
he plays so bad.
But do you think it's more of the system, for example,
It's probably
rather
the
than
system
him?
because I feel like Barcelona. I'm not a big fan of the tiki taka anymore. I feel like
Okay.
football has evolved to a different game, and you
Yeah.
just have to get with it. Barcelona
Okay.
are still stuck back in like 2014, 2015 tiki
Okay.
taka. You can do all this, but now football
Okay.
is about running, strength,
Yeah.
pace,
It's
everything.
that physicality nature. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like remember when Bayern dogged us?
Yeah.
It's
Okay. When? Because like there were multiple
bro,
instances
every single year.
every single year.
Every single year. But it's not because
Um.
we lack quality. It's because at the end of the day, physical is what really matters.
Yeah.
How long you're gonna end the game because the Barca players get so tired so fast.
No. I was actually mentioning that in the watch along. One of the advantages of this midfield, for example, is that they're all very technically gifted.
Yeah,
They're great on the ball. For example, they can hold a play, they can control the game. But one of the disadvantages regarding this is that they're not great in space. For example, they aren't great in covering tons of space. Or not any. None
exactly.
of these players are ball winners. And for example, when you don't have a pivot who can recover and be solid defensively, and this is where we miss Busquets because at Busquets is best. I think this game he controls it in that midfield. I think in a couple of those counterattacks he can just completely just nullifies it and recovers the play so easily.
Yeah,
And this is where Barcelona they struggle. They don't have any winners into this midfield. And I also think that's where like you see Frankie de Jong struggle because I thought at the start of the season, Frankie de Jong was absolutely brilliant when he was playing next to Order Romeo, an actual CDM who was playing well. Keep in mind because Order Romeo later he just like his form just dipped.
decline.
Yeah, it declined. Frankie de Jong, we saw the best of him. He was like one of the best midfielders in the world.
Mm.
But when you don't have that natural CDM, I think the team suffers. Well, Sebi, I want to know your opinion on this. Xavi out or Xavi in?
Oof, bro. I'm honestly not a fan of like really like the coaches when they retire and come in as players because
Okay.
because like they don't have enough like they think they know what they're doing as a coach, but
Yeah.
like have you seen Frank Lampard? My god.
Oh, Frank Lampard was absolutely atrocious. It was
Steven
so
Gerrard
bad at Chelsea.
doing all right, but when he went to a big team, didn't do much.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of retired players being coaches. I feel like they need more time. Xavi just went to a Qatar team and
Okay.
went to Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's like, what has he really done as a coach?
He's really inexperienced as a coach.
Exactly. That's
Um,
why, like, getting a team like Barcelona, I feel like requires more.
right here. Wasn't Xavi's fault or attackers are just asked. The fact we paid 60 million for Rafinha
Also,
is shambolic.
it's also the players. It's not only the coach. Like, obviously, the coach makes the playing style, but the coach is there to help the team play as a
Yeah.
play as a unit, like a
Yeah.
team.
Yeah,
It,
exactly. For example, look at that instance where Lewandowski misses those chances. Is that Xavi's fault or is that Lewandowski's fault?
no,
Those absolutely horrendous touches from Rafinha, which if he has a better first touch, he can absolutely get a goal or two. But talking about this, guys, if you guys don't know, this is Sebi. He's actually a friend of mine. We played soccer together for our college team or intramural team, and he's also going to be joining in now and then or whenever he can. But guys, remember, if you guys also want to join, just go on Twitter at Kool-Aid Podcast. Go over there and hop into the stream. But wait, Sebi, Xavi in or Xavi out? I didn't manage to catch
My
that.
gosh.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one
Okay, if we can get
because
a
I was
good
actually having this discussion with El Hakim.
okay, if we can get a good coach, I would say Xavi out. But as of right
Okay.
now, I'll
Okay.
give him confidence and be like Xavi in.
Okay.
But
Okay. I mean
if a
that's
really
fair.
good coach is available, I would say I don't know actually. Maybe I'll give him until the end of the season. Let's see what happens.
And you know what? That's actually the stance of the club as of right now. I was mentioning this, and reports are saying, and even the club, the president, Deco, basically the entire Barca board management, they come out in support of Xavi, and they basically said this: "Hey guys, Xavi is our coach. We are behind him 100%, as they should." And the reports are saying that unless Barcelona have a disastrous season where we get absolutely knocked out in the Champions League group stages, which that hasn't happened, or
Mhm.
Barcelona get eliminated in the round of 16, in embarrassing fashion, the way it happened against Bayern, like an eight
Yeah.
two, something like that, like a 7-0, a crazy result like that.
Mhm.
Barcelona, they're out of the Champions League spots, maybe seventh, eighth, around there, and out of the Copa Rey, or Supercopa de España, literally a disastrous season. Xavi is sacked. But
Yeah.
unless that happens, Xavi is staying. Um,
I feel
and I
like
think that
I just don't like that because like if we
okay,
don't see results, it's such a big club like Barcelona.
yeah,
Like for instance, like Madrid, Bayern. What
yeah.
happens if they don't win the league? They sack their manager.
Hmm.
Like
Wait, but Carlo Ancelotti last season he didn't win the league
well,
and he's
Carlo
still there.
Ancelotti is something else. I feel like because he has won the Champions League and stuff like that with Madrid, and
Okay, okay.
it's different.
But don't you think that Xavi has some credit in the bank because he did win the Supercopa de España and he did win the league title last
Yeah,
season?
that's what I'm saying. Is that right now the performances are really bad. Like
Yeah,
it's
the
not
performances are
looking good.
bad. Simple thing. If Barca ends trophyless, Xavi might get the sack, and
I
you're
agree
right,
with that.
100%. Yeah, you're 100% right on that. And let's say like Xavi, he does get sacked. Who would you bring in? Because it's tough. Because I would say there are currently no of
There's
like
no,
top tier available
there's
managers
actually
out there.
no really good managers right now.
Uh huh.
I would have
What's your
liked to
thoughts on
see
Hansi Flick?
Hansi Flick.
Yeah.
Oof. What he did with Bayern was amazing, but with what he did with the national team was awful. Like
Yeah.
he made Germany worse, I think,
Yeah.
than what they were after 2018. I
Uh
don't think
huh.
I've seen a worse Germany than that.
Uh huh. And the thing is, if you do sack Xavi, number one, you have to pay him. Barcelona,
Yeah.
they don't have the finances to pay Xavi. You have to pay Xavi and his entire team.
Unless he does
Then you have,
PK, like just like just a go.
uh, yeah. I mean that's a possibility. Um, but at the same time, you'd also have to pay the new manager to come in, and that manager will require things, require players, etc., etc. And whoever we do bring in, it would have to be a guaranteed success.
Mhm.
Because if not, you stick with Xavi.
Yeah.
Um, And so that's why I think that Barcelona is in a dilemma. But now, we were talking about Xavi. Specifically, now I want to talk about Lewandowski. Sebi, thoughts on Lewandowski's performance tonight? Because I thought Lewandowski, even though he did get that goal to equalize it to 1-1, I thought
Mhm.
Lewandowski was completely poor once again. And honestly,
He's been
his
poor the last 3 to 4 games at least.
uh, I wouldn't even say the last 3 to 4 games. I would say ever since like the return from the World Cup, ever
Yeah.
since like the start of the year, he's been bad.
Mhm.
Put me in but Parisa announced my contract renewal. It's over for Europe. Yeah.
I feel like
Um.
Lewandowski just hasn't performed, bro. Like a world class striker that he was playing in the Bundesliga.
mm,
I feel like,
Okay.
but I also feel like he doesn't have the same players he had. He's in a different system. He's playing tiki taka. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
it's also the system, but at least he's still theoretically scoring goals.
But okay, so you don't think that he's in a decline?
In a decline, how old is he?
Yeah.
Like 25 right now?
Yeah, he's 35. Lewandowski's
Yeah,
35.
obviously he's in the decline
Yeah.
part of his
Because
career.
I was actually looking at Lewandowski's stats, and I brought this up in the conversation. Lewandowski in before the World Cup, I believe he played 18, no, 19 matches, and he had 18 goals. After the World Cup, he had 40. He played 43 matches, 23 goals. That's
Yeah.
Lewandowski used to score basically one goal a game, and now Robert Lewandowski is basically scoring one goal every 2 games.
Okay,
And
what
that,
what league do you think is harder, La Liga or Bundesliga?
oh, I definitely think that La Liga is harder. And even like Robert Lewandowski said it himself. But for example, I'm saying like this is Robert Lewandowski's stats only in La Liga,
Yeah.
basically. His form before the World Cup was really good, and he was absolutely carrying through us at times. But
Okay.
post World Cup, that's bad.
And what do you think
Um,
about Joao Felix? Worth it? Not worth
oh, okay. It's simple like this.
worth money next season to buy him, or we just let him go?
It's depending on the price because Atletico Madrid they're asking 70 to 80 million euros, which is absolutely nonsensical. Number one, Barcelona they don't have the money for that, and two, he's not worth it. Maximum 25 to 30 million you pay for him. If
Yeah.
not, loan. And
I
then
feel
and
like
that
I feel like he was sold to Barcelona that he would be different, like not Messi obviously, but like a
mm,
different type of player to like change the game and stuff like that. And he's just not been that at all.
mm.
He's just like
Look,
another winger to me at this point right now.
look at this. Lewandowski was so important for our title-winning season and Copa de España win pre-World Cup. He was 18 goals, 18 games, 17 goals. Lewandowski stayed in the World Cup and hasn't been back. Bros lost in Qatar. Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
But then you have people who say, maybe Lewandowski isn't getting the supply. And
That's
do
also
you agree
true.
with that?
That's true. That's true as well. Because like
Okay.
who helped him today at all?
Who-
Gundogan.
Uh,
Gundogan
yeah, I
did
was
his job today.
okay, but at the same time, don't like what about the game against Atletico Madrid? Because Lewandowski had like three or four chances, he didn't
Yeah.
score. And what's it called? As well, Barcelona. I don't know if I can pull up the stat because I saw this. Barcelona, they're one of the teams in the league who creates the most amount of chances. I don't know
But we're not clinical enough.
yeah, exactly. We're not clinical enough. So I don't think it's purely of just like, hey, Robert Lewandowski is not. Yeah, see right here. We created 20 chances. Bro Lewandowski can't finish his dinner. We created the most chances in La Liga. So I
Yeah.
don't think it's that, hey, we can't supply balls to Lewandowski. No, it's simple. He just can't finish his dinner. And continuing about this, let's talk about Xavi and the team. Xavi's not a coach for me. You don't talk to a player when they are performing badly.
Hmm.
Well, um, the whole debate, guys, we are going to be having a more like detailed conversation on Xavi tomorrow for our episode when we talk about it. But we did say that Barcelona is not in a position to stack Xavi right now, and I do agree. I think Xavi should be doing much better than what he's doing right now. The squad that we have, I think, is one of the most talented in the world, and the performances, especially, they don't really reflect that. I'm not saying the results though, because as you can see, we only are 7 points behind in La Liga. We're top of the group stages, and Barcelona. When you look at so far, let me see if I can pull it up. Uh, the table so far, Barcelona have only dropped. We only have no, two losses and four draws.
Yeah.
So it's not that the results have been especially horrible. What time is the episode tomorrow? It's most likely going to be around like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern time, depending where you are. So, Mustafa, I think you might be asleep for that. But now let's switch on and let's see what social media is saying.
I feel like
Um,
people
yeah,
or Barca fans are expecting like every time we're at home now or the past few years to win like 4-0, 5-0, 6-0 like we did in the
yeah,
past. But
yeah.
it's not like that anymore. We
And on top of
struggle at home to
yeah,
small teams. Small teams, I'm not saying it disrespectfully, but small teams historic wise.
yeah.
Where was Girona last season? Like honestly, tell me. Like
Last
where
season,
were they?
I'm pretty sure they were like seventh or eighth around there.
Exactly. And now they're first, like
Yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy.
that's good coaching.
Yeah, I
That's
on top
what
of
we
but
don't
hey,
have right now.
You do have to give credit. For example, look, Girona go top of La Liga with 38 goals scored, 20 goals conceded, and a 4-2 win against Barcelona tonight.
Exactly.
Incredible
Why do
job
you
by
think that's good
Michelle.
coaching? Because obviously it's also the players, but
Yeah,
those players were the same players as last year. What
yeah.
changed? The coach.
Yeah. Okay, but continuing on, bro, I was so confused at this. I don't know if you were able to see this. But Barca, when Chevy brought on Balde, the shape of the team was so weird. You had Cancelo playing as a left back, a right back playing as a left back. You had Balde playing as a center back, and Kunde playing as a right back.
Hmm.
I was like, so I'm like, what's going on? What's
Yeah.
going on right here? Um, I was just so confused. But let's see what social media is saying right now. Okay, Girona are serious. Definitely now in the title race. This side it truly is remarkable. Time to check out the highlights. Well, they had a fantastic game throughout the majority of the game. They were much better. If I
Yeah.
was Laporta, I spin the guys. FC Barcelona have tonight against Girona recorded their most XG accumulated in one match in 2023, most shots in one match, most shots on target in one match, second most touches in the opposition box, and we still haven't gotten the victory. Xavi spoke to Dans after the match. We played well, and it was an equal match. The match was decided by details. We lacked effectiveness. Now, I wouldn't say we particularly played well. I think defensively we were completely open. Do you agree with that or no?
I agree with them.
You agree with that? Would you say it was the personnel or the structure?
The structure for sure.
The structure? I would say that. Because I wouldn't say it's the personnel because you have Cancelo, Araujo, Christensen, and Kunde. You had the same back line that played against Atletico Madrid and played against Porto.
Hmm.
And it was this game in which we looked completely wide open.
Hmm.
And
But look,
I you have to give props to Girona for the work that they did.
I'm not a
Um,
I'm not a fan of Kunde right back at all. Like I don't think he's a right back at all. He's a natural center back, and
that's just
I'm tired of Barca putting center backs as right backs or left backs. That's just because awful transfer market. They can't buy a good right back.
yeah.
I mean, they got Cancelo, but like he
They
likes to
played him as a left back. They played him as a left back.
they play him as a left back when he clearly played at City as a right back.
But the thing is, like, here's the system that Xavi wants to play. Xavi wants to have he plays that four in the back basically, but it's not really a four in the back. He transitions into three center backs and you're basically playing a three at the back and you have one attacking fullback. The
Yeah,
problem at the start of the season, in which why Xavi he stopped playing both Balde and Cancelo, is that they were way too
attacking.
open defensively. Why are
Yeah,
you gonna have two offensive fullbacks bombing up and forward?
yeah.
And two players, who aren't like that solid defensively. Why not? Instead, you have one player who's more solid defensively and stays back, and have the other one bomb them forward.
Maybe
But peace out, Mustafa.
he should things up.
Sleep well, bro. What happened?
He should switch things up. Maybe a change of formation will do better.
That's something that Xavi definitely has to check out. All right, let's see this. We know this by now, but Girona are the real deal. As fair as it was to say that Xavi has had out-coached Simeone, now Michel has given Barcelona a lesson. Still, had someone told me we'd win 2 to 3 games versus Porto, Atletico, and Girona with our form, I'd have taken it. We move. We had chances but couldn't convert. Absolutely yes. And guess what? We knew that would likely happen. So did Xavi, and so did Girona. But end of the day, Girona were better despite Barcelona shooting more and accumulating more XG. The system, the idea, the execution, they've earned this. And once again, guys, as much as I say, Barcelona they played poorly, you do have to give credit to um, Girona because they played absolutely fantastic. They were playing out, they were playing some amazing football at times, and we just need to do better.
Yeah.
Xavi is too stupid to understand attackers need space. Players are standing like pole in attacking areas instead of creating numerical superiority, which Girona did. Um, I also think that that's a moment of personnel because when you look at the players that were on the pitch, you saw how physical there was, and that was a point that somebody was mentioning. You know, we have very talented and gifted midfielders and talented players, but if they don't have that physical nature who are able to work off the ball, then we are going to struggle in those transitions. And that's the point that we were mentioning. The holding off the ball without passing is another problem. No smooth transitions. All the player hold the ball and dribble around themselves. Xavi definitely has a lot of work. Um, but all right, Sebi, final thoughts. But before we end off the video, just final thoughts on the performances because we are going to be talking about more tomorrow when we give our more in depth analysis.
I just think we have to do way better. We're a big club, and the
Or-
results are not
Okay.
showing up. We're
Yeah.
7 points down. My gosh. And we got us. I'm tired of Barca being like, oh, let's bring in, like, this is a personal opinion, but who do we
Yeah.
have on the bench, bro?
Well,
Fermin, Gui, Yamal. I don't know if
we,
that's how you pronounce his name, but
no,
like
no, 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 no. I mean, I'm
Yamal.
pretty sure like
We
that.
have
That's how you pronounce it,
we
but
have
yeah,
Fermin. We
yeah,
have four that are like 16, 17, 18.
yeah.
We do not have a bench at all. Maybe these kids are gonna be wow world class in the future, but right now versus all these older people, I
Yeah.
think it's so overhyped. We don't have a bench. We don't have
It's a
nothing
struggle.
that can
Uh
help
huh.
us.
And I think that's also like a
And
result of yeah,
The shark,
the shark,
the shark.
uh, the shark. I also think like that's a factor of just like, hey, us not having the finances to afford a
Yeah,
world class a bench. But I definitely think that that's something that the club they should be looking at this summer, bringing in Vitor Roque in January, which is hopefully going to be a huge addition and hopefully replace Lewandowski.
yeah.
But you
Another
also have
19-year-old.
another 19-year-old. Exactly. We're bringing in kids.
We
We're
don't
bringing in
buy
kids.
players that are like 26, 25,
Yeah.
24. We just
Yeah.
either buy really old players that are like 35, 36, 37, 38, or we buy 17,
Yeah.
18, 19,
Uh,
20 at max.
yeah. Well, the problem with that is just we just don't have the money for that.
Yeah, we're
But
yeah,
it's definitely. But guys, that was it for the video. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the match reaction. We will be back tomorrow with the latest news and the episode, talking about the game in detail and talking about Xavi in more detail. But guys, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, and guys, make sure to tune in tomorrow. But as always, guys.